The Forrester Couture line is finally ready to face the runway, but the biggest story may not be the clothes, it is Eric. A full week after the collection was supposed to be presented, the moment finally arrives. The delay has added pressure, expectations have had more time to build, questions have had more time to grow, and now, as the couture line moves down the runway, Eric is forced to stand inside a moment that clearly means more to him than an ordinary fashion presentation. He struggles to keep his emotions under control. That detail matters. For Eric, couture is not simply business, it represents history, identity, and everything the Forrester name is supposed to mean. A runway show may be judged in minutes, but the work behind it carries years of pride. Every look represents a standard, every reaction matters. Because this presentation is happening later than planned, the emotional weight feels even heavier. The collection is being presented where it can be seen, evaluated, and remembered. Eric has to watch the result unfold in real time. There is no easy way to separate himself from what the line represents. The spoiler does not tell us exactly which emotion is closest to the surface. It could be pride, it could be relief, it could be the pressure of finally seeing the collection presented after the delay. Most likely, several emotions are colliding at once. That uncertainty makes the scene stronger. Eric has always carried the Forrester legacy with deep personal investment. The company is not just a workplace to him, fashion is part of how he understands himself. So when a couture line reaches the runway, he is not watching from a safe emotional distance. He is watching a piece of his life move past him, one design at a time. The delay changes the mood too. Had the show happened exactly when scheduled, the energy might have felt more controlled, but a week of waiting can make any major event feel larger. The longer the pause, the more the pressure grows. Eric now has to face that pressure without allowing the emotion to overwhelm him. This is the kind of bold and the beautiful moment that does not need a loud confrontation to feel dramatic. Sometimes the most revealing scene is simply a character trying not to break. Eric's effort to stay composed tells viewers that the runway show has touched something deeply personal. It may be a professional triumph, it may be an emotional release, it may also remind him that time keeps moving even when the Forrester legacy feels permanent. The couture line continues down the runway. The show cannot pause just because Eric is overwhelmed. That contrast creates the tension. The presentation appears polished and controlled. Eric's emotions are much harder to contain. Outside, everything may look elegant. Inside, he is struggling. The runway represents the public face of the Forrester name. Eric's reaction reveals the private cost of carrying it. Viewers may be watching the designs, but the emotional center of the scene is the man behind the legacy. There is also a quiet question hanging over the presentation. Why does this moment hit Eric so hard? The spoiler does not give a complete answer, so that mystery should not be turned into a confirmed twist. What is clear is that Eric is deeply affected. The delayed show has become more than a rescheduled business event, it is an emotional milestone. Eric is closely connected to strength, tradition, and authority. Seeing him struggle to maintain control reminds us that even powerful figures can be shaken by moments tied to their life's work. Pride can hurt, relief can overwhelm, success can carry memories that no one else fully understands. For Eric, the meaning goes far beyond one collection. The runway is a reminder of what he has built and what he still feels responsible for protecting. The audience can celebrate the couture line and still notice the strain on Eric's face. The show can be beautiful while the man behind it feels close to tears. And as Eric faces a public emotional test, Deacon is making a private decision that could be just as risky. He is choosing to believe Sheila. While Eric tries to hold himself together during the couture presentation, Deacon is lowering his guard around the one person viewers are never fully comfortable trusting. He decides that Sheila may have truly changed. That is a major emotional choice. Deacon is not simply hearing another promise, he is accepting the possibility that Sheila has turned over a new leaf. He is choosing hope over suspicion. On the bold and the beautiful, that kind of faith can be deeply meaningful, dangerously misplaced, or both. The spoiler presents his decision with obvious doubt around it. Has Sheila really changed? Or is this the moment when she eventually proves that everyone who trusted her was wrong? Nothing in the spoiler confirms that Sheila is planning a deception. That possibility must remain exactly what it is, a possibility, but the question exists because trusting Sheila is never emotionally simple. For Deacon, belief may feel easier than constantly expecting the worst. If he accepts that Sheila has changed, then he can stop treating every peaceful moment like the beginning of another disaster. He can believe that loyalty has mattered. He can believe that people are capable of becoming more than their past. That is the emotional appeal of his choice. It is also what makes the situation tense. Hope can make a person brave. It can also make a person vulnerable. Deacon's decision suggests that Sheila has convinced him on some level. Whether that comes from her behavior, her words, or his desire to believe in her is not explained. We should not pretend to know more than the spoiler gives us. What matters is the result. Deacon is ready to view Sheila as someone who may genuinely have changed. Once trust is given, it becomes something that can be protected or destroyed. If Sheila continues to show restraint, Deacon's faith may look justified. If she reveals another side, his belief could become the very thing that leaves him exposed. The tension is already there because Deacon has made his emotional position clear. He is no longer standing safely outside the question. He has chosen a side. He believes her. That makes every future reaction more meaningful. A suspicious Deacon could pull away at the first warning sign. A trusting Deacon may give Sheila more room. He may defend her longer. He may see doubt as unfair instead of necessary. The spoiler does not confirm that this will happen, but it explains why his decision matters. Trust changes how people interpret danger. This creates a strong contrast with Eric's runway moment. Eric is trying to contain emotion in a public setting. Deacon is making an emotional judgment in a deeply personal relationship. Eric faces the pressure of legacy. Deacon faces the risk of belief. Both men are emotionally exposed. Eric's vulnerability comes from how much the Forrester Couture line means to him. Deacon's vulnerability comes from how much he wants Sheila's change to be real. One story is wrapped in elegance and tradition. The other is wrapped in uncertainty. Yet both are about faith. Eric has faith in the work and the legacy represented on the runway. Deacon has faith that Sheila may no longer be the person viewers fear she could become again. The difference is that one kind of faith can be celebrated publicly, the other will be questioned almost immediately. That is why Deacon's choice feels like a warning. He has accepted the idea that Sheila has changed. He is no longer cautiously considering it, he is leaning into it. Sheila may be sincere, she may truly be trying to live differently. The spoiler leaves room for that interpretation, but the audience is also invited to watch carefully. Not for a confirmed betrayal, not for a guaranteed twist, but for the possibility that Deacon's trust could be tested. This is classic B and B tension because the danger is emotional before it becomes anything else. The central issue is not simply what Sheila may or may not do, it is what Deacon has invested in believing her. If he is right, his faith could represent growth and loyalty. If he is wrong, the emotional damage would come from more than deception. It would come from knowing he ignored his doubts because he wanted hope to win. Deacon's decision reveals something important about him. He is willing to believe that a person can change. That may be generous, it may be loving, it may also be risky. Sheila's next steps will determine how that choice is remembered. For now, Monday's bold and the beautiful spoilers leave us with two emotionally charged images. Eric watches the couture line finally move down the runway 1 week later than planned, while fighting to keep his composure. Deacon looks at Sheila and decides her transformation may be real. One man is overwhelmed by the weight of a legacy. The other may be placing his heart in the hands of someone viewers still do not completely trust. Neither storyline needs an invented twist to feel powerful. The tension is already present. Eric's emotions show how much the runway means. Deacon's faith shows how much he is willing to risk. So which moment will carry the greater consequence? Will Eric's emotional reaction turn the delayed couture show into a defining Forrester memory? And has Deacon finally seen the real Sheila, or is his trust setting him up for another painful lesson? Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for daily The Bold and the beautiful spoilers, recaps and updates.